So, hey, good afternoon. We're the Cola Guys. I'm David.
And I'm George.
We are joined this afternoon with our good friend. This is Cynthia Giles. She is the owner and CEO of Cutthroat Marketing here in Columbia, South Carolina. They are an award-winning marketing firm here in our state. Cynthia is also a very good friend of ours personally through the Greater Irmo Chamber of Commerce and even outside of that. So welcome to the podcast.
The Coal Guys isn't your average real estate podcast.
Our mission is to give buyers and sellers the power of knowledge through their real estate transactions.
We do this by helping first-time homebuyers realize that there are more expenses that come with owning a home than just the loan.
We also understand there are many times move-up buyers and sellers have forgotten the process because it's been so long since their last real estate transaction.
We make the downsizing easy.
Once you get into the habit of working with us, the process becomes so smooth you won't mind to move.
We are also excited to share with you what all the Midlands has to offer.
This episode is brought to you by Dick Dyer Mercedes-Benz, the first Mercedes-Benz in South Carolina.
So it's almost Christmas and we're in the middle of online shopping craziness, right? So when you start going on the internet and you start searching for, Christmas gifts or whatever, all of a sudden it seems like you start seeing that one item again and again and again across everywhere you go on the internet. If you've been shopping on Amazon and you log into your Facebook account, all of a sudden on Facebook you've got, there's that product in your face all over Facebook. Why does that happen?
Because we are good at our job, right? This is what I do for a living. It happens because you accept the terms and conditions when you download the application on your phone. And so when you download any app nowadays, whether it's your bank or it's your social media account, you're accepting the terms and conditions. In a lot of cases, it's data. Businesses make money off of our data, and they always have. We've been doing this for marketing since the early 50s. It just is what it is, and that's why there's regulations involving psychological marketing. But what's happening is you accept the terms and conditions, and it allows the application to listen to your conversations. It allows the application to be aware of your GPS, and they communicate with each other, right? Your bank app is an affiliate of the store that you go to, and so they communicate, right? So when you're in Target, it's feeding to your bank or to another app on your phone where you are in Target and how long you spend in that aisle and the products you might be looking at, and then it doesn't even have to listen to you. It just follows you around and pays attention to what you're interacting with to advertise to you. But in the long run, it's the idea of being more cost effective with our marketing as businesses. And so if we can put in front of you exactly what you want, not only are you going to buy, but I can spend less on marketing and not annoy you with stuff you don't want. And so it's a catch-22 on how we use it. I think it's a good thing, but it is slightly creepy and some people get a little nervous about it.
When saying yes, and you had talked about these applications knowing your location, when you say yes and let them see your location, what all does that entail, and how often is it running even when you have that app closed?
So if you have an iPhone, then most apps will actually give you the option to say when it's when it has the availability to look at that. iPhones give you the ability to say only when the app is open or at all times, or only give certain access, and you can go in and actually check the boxes. I'm not 100% sure if Androids do that now. They might. They've always kind of been advanced above iPhones, but I'm an iPhone user, so I have that weakness. But usually what's going on is if you check yes, it's usually the entire time that you're using that application. In some cases, it's following your entire GPS history. It depends on what is in the terms of conditions. Now, the main question, George, is have you ever read your terms and conditions?
Never.
Yeah, and none of us do, so...
No, that's usually just yes and on we go, because otherwise it's a scroll fest and you've got to have good eyesight to read some of that. What are some of the mistakes, so you give your phone permission to track you around like this, or maybe you're a little more reserved about it and, always, or just when the app's running. But what are some of the other mistakes besides that other people do that could potentially jeopardize their safety when using such products?
Okay. So I would like to clarify that the applications and the programming itself is not malicious. It's not the programs that have a problem. And even the data it's collecting isn't bad, right? It's how people use it. So what you need to be aware of when you're online is who you're giving your information to and who you're actively engaging with. A lot of the problems that we have online is instant message conversation. You gave someone that information and you weren't paying attention to who or why you were giving it to them. If you're filling out a form, pay attention to the URL. Are you still on the same website you typed in to begin with before you started filling out that form? We have to be more diligent about paying attention to when we give our data. It's not necessarily the software and all of that. It's us. It's how we use the internet. And so if we're being more aware of who we're giving our data to, then we don't have to worry about the malicious people out there, because the code isn't evil. People are.
Sure. And when you're creating an online password, and once you've created it, it pops up, do you want to save the password? Do you click yes or no first? And then secondly, is the only way that someone can access that password is if they get into your computer, or is there another way that they can get into your account simply because you saved the password on the internet?
So that's not an easy question to answer, because it depends on what's asking to save the password. Sometimes it's the device, sometimes it's your browser, because Chrome as a browser, Google Chrome, is saving passwords, and that's not actually on your device. That's in your Google profile in the cloud. And if someone hacks your Gmail because you have a poor password on it, then yeah, they're going to see all your passwords, right? So it's kind of going back to paying attention to where you're putting your data. What is saving the password? Is it the device? And is your device at risk of being stolen? Is it the cloud? If it's in a cloud, is your password to save it all in the first place secure? And that's where I'd have to tell you to kind of look. I can't just say yes or no.